So over the past few years, we've been told to plan for this crisis, plan for that crisis. However, there is a new problem that has just arisen, and we need to address this next crisis. And I want to just warn you, the worst is yet to come. Now, what exactly am I talking about? Well, we're going to get to that in just a moment. But first, all I ask is if you enjoy these daily updates, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. It really does help out the channel. Now, there's a new story that has been coming out. This has really started to pick up some media attention over the past couple of days. However, this is not a new problem. This is a problem that we have been hearing about for a few months. And this is not something that we can just turn on a switch and changes everything. This is something that is going to require a lot of thought, but it's also potentially going to cause additional inflation. So what exactly is that? Well, it's this story right here. There's a drought. It's affecting Panama and the Panama Canal, which actually threatens 40% of the world's cargo ship traffic. Guess what? The United States, we get 40% of the U.S. container ships go through the Panama Canal, which means if the Panama Canal is affected because of a drought, which is actually something that's not new, it's something that's been going on for some time, guess what? We are impacted as well. It's not just our imports, it's our exports as well. Now, I want to show you a picture. In this picture, this is actually from about a week ago. This picture right here, okay? This is showing the ships, okay? This is the southern part of the Panama Canal. Look at all these ships that are waiting to go through there. You know why it's such a big deal? It's because these ships, they can't hold as much product as they used to, and there's less ships going through. I want to read you this article. Look at this. It says a severe drought is threatening shipping on the vital Panama Canal, which is responsible for moving 40% of the world's cargo ship traffic. About 2/3 of the canal's traffic is either headed for or leaving the United States. That's concerning. That is extremely concerning, being that we rely on a lot of stuff from other countries. We're not a producer country. We don't produce a lot of our stuff. We buy it. We import it. It also says the canal, a linchpin connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, is renowned for its ability to save time and billions of dollars by offering ships a shortcut around the tip of South America. But the Panama Canal system depends on lakes whose levels are now close to the minimum. I'm going to show you a video in just a second, but just to give you an idea, by going through the Panama Canal, it cuts off about 2,000 kilometers instead of going down the southern point. So it's a huge shortcut. It takes so much water to get a ship to go up and down. Okay, I believe it's like 55 to 125 million gallons every single time, depending on how big the ship is and also how much weight it's carrying. Now, let's go back to this article. Look at this. It says, the regional home of the canal has had an unprecedented dry season, leading to a significant decline in water levels within the canal. Let me pause that. Which relies on fresh water to operate. As a result, the canal's daily operations have been disrupted, with the number of vessels passing through each day reduced from 36 to 32. And I know what you're thinking, that's only 4 ships. 4 ships a day. You start adding that up over the course of a week, what do you got? 28, right? After 7 days, you factor in 4 ships a day over 30 days. You're looking at 120 ships per month that have not gone through there. That's what's creating that backlog. That's what's creating that delay. Now, I want to be very clear on something, okay? Right now, we are seeing less ships, which means there's a backlog of ships. They're just sitting, right? They're waiting to go through. The problem here is that there's a delay, but there's also, we are seeing ships which are not being able to put as much cargo on those ships because they don't have enough water to raise it. And the more a ship weighs, the heavier it's going to be, which means they need more water to push it up. Well, look at this. It says, additionally, some ships are being forced to carry up to 40% less cargo to avoid hitting the bottom in low water levels. Yeah, that's a huge, huge issue. And remember when I was just talking about the amount of water needed to lift these ships? Look at this. It says moving ships through the canal system of locks consumes vast amounts of fresh water, ranging from 55 to 125 million gallons per ship, depending on its size. Much of that water typically gets flushed into the oceans, and the Panama Canal Authority is now employing methods to store and use some of that water to address this crisis. So this is something that they haven't seen in the past. They are now trying to figure out ways to raise these ships using fresh water, which they don't have a huge stock of fresh water because they're in the middle of a drought. Again, this is another huge issue. Well, I want to read you this other thing as well. Look at this. It says the authority is considering diverting water from other rivers and constructing additional reservoirs, as the lakes that feed the canals also serve as the primary source of drinking water for nearby Panama City. So here's the issue. We are fighting against raising ships to pass cargo through, which is needed for other countries, and by doing so, we're actually robbing from the people of Panama City their drinking water. How troubling is that? That's a major issue. Okay, so here in the United States, what we're already expecting is we're expecting additional inflation, simply because we are actually going to have less options to purchase things because there's less products coming in. With less products coming in and demand staying high as it is, we are going to see supply drop, demand stay high, which means inflation and prices go up. This is a huge problem. Now, one other thing I just want to tell you. We're seeing all over the news that there's 200 ships, just sitting there waiting to go through the Panama Canal, right? You can see this picture. I'm not going to count them, right? I'm not going to do that. But what I can tell you is that according to recent reports just out this morning, it says it's not 200 ships. It's closer to about 140 to 150 ships that are waiting to go through the Panama Canal. On average, that's about 50% more, a little more than 50% more, simply because it's usually typically about 90 ships that are sitting waiting to go through. The wait time, the report this 2 days ago was it takes about 3 weeks for these ships to go through. They're sitting there waiting for about 3 weeks. However, the report out this morning is saying it's closer to 11 to 14 days. Okay, so almost 2 weeks. Again, it still takes a little while. It's over a week longer than a typical ship would take to get through the Panama Canal. So here's the problem. It's going to get more expensive if we have to see there's additional reservoirs. They're trying to divert water from other lakes. We're pulling water from Panama City. If we have to do that, it's going to cost more for ships to go through the Panama Canal. At the same time, it's still much cheaper than going and spending all the fuel and the time to go down past the southern point and go around South America. Okay? So, because of that, just understand prices are likely to go up, and even though we're probably not going to get out of this drought anytime soon, prices are still going to go up. That means all goods are going to get more expensive. Okay? So even though right now we are expecting some disinflation, which means prices are not going to go up as high as quickly, but they're still going to go up. According to some reports, no, we're not going to see disinflation anymore. According to these reports for goods, we are actually going to see more inflation. So just be prepared. Prices are likely to go up, but this is something that I bet you didn't see was coming. That prices are going up because of an issue, because of the Panama Canal and a drought. So let me know if you have any questions, but that is what we know as of today. So expect prices on goods coming through the Panama Canal to be a little bit higher than normal, but That is to be expected, according to multiple authorities. So, again, if you have any questions, let me know. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.